Hello, dear friends. Here we are for our 10th Discovering the Magic. And what a show it is today. There are so many reasons for us to be overjoyed around this Discovering the Magic. So, first of all, it's the 3rd anniversary of Norma's passing, and I'm sure she is delighted celebrating with us on the other side for our path, for what Serena has achieved, so that meaning that everything that Norma gave has produced the best possible fruit for my path, for all of us, for just celebrating that we have entered a new era, and that is actually now happening in this reality. So that's a reason to celebrate. Then I am actually, I don't know if you guys can hear the music, but I'm actually sitting at Disneyland in Paris. And if you've ever been to Disneyland, it's all about magic and fulfilling your dreams, and believing is actually achieving. It's all about you can do anything. It's all about you are unique. It's all about different is special. It's all about we are all in this together. It's all about magic, really, but the magic that is feasible, the magic that is livable. So here, when we come to Disneyland, this one is in Paris, but I'm sure any other Disneyland around the world is exactly the same philosophy. Is this you are just filled with this delight, this how can I say, the magnificence, the beauty, and my God, the stuff that these guys achieve with technology is just incredible. Like I've been here, this is my 4th time, and it's sort of like every 4 years, every 10 years. Sorry, last time it was 10 years ago. And each time I get to see loads of new stuff, so it's not like it's repetitive or anything. And the technology, the way it's evolved, it's just incredible. So anyway, it's about making your dreams come true and knowing that that is actually a fact. It's not something unachievable. And then the other reason why this Discovering the Magic is special is Serena. Go ahead.
Wow, I'm just like, wow, I can almost barely breathe. I'm just so filled with joy and awe because I have gotten my approval to move to Portugal. And so that is a dream, a huge dream. It's letting go of an old life, an old identity, an old way of living to discover a new freedom, a new way of living, to live in a community of two sisters who I love dearly and other people who have the mindset that I do from a place of gentle freedom. So I am bursting at the seams because I was under the impression I got an email telling me you have been authorized and for your application. And I was like, oh, great. What does that mean? And I even Googled and I said, what does authorization mean? Just to make sure I got it. And it was official approval. I had to laugh at myself because I knew authorized was good, but and then I was under the impression because in the United States, we issue a separate card. And so they said, well, we've sent your visa back and you'll get it on Monday or Tuesday. And I was under the impression that I had to wait for the actual visa, but it's in the passport. So I am on my way, moving into my new life that I could never have imagined 3 years ago when I intentionally let Norma go. When she came to me on the 8th at night and she said, will you let me go now? And I went to her that night as I slept, and I kissed her face, and I stroked her beautiful head, and I said, "It's okay, you can go now, Mom." And she left while I was there. That was a miracle, because this person that's sitting here today, I could never even have envisioned, to be really honest with you. The independence that I feel within me, the trust despite how much up and down I've gone through since February when I visited Portugal. For a part of my transformation has been my willingness to let go of everything to discover the truth, the nature of who I truly am as this divine human. And the magic of it has been I, the human, has sat here and gone through the experience step by step. And much of it has been very difficult. And I apologize, the trash picker-uppers are picking up the trash. So if you hear that noise, you'll know what it is. But my yes has always been bigger than any difficulty. Every single thing that I have been asked to do, asked to surrender and open to, my yes has flowed from me. And so this morning I woke up and I noticed I had some fear about moving to Portugal. And I could hear this voice of, "But this is the only place you've ever experienced that you were safe. How can you let go of this place?" And I just breathed and loved me. I didn't have to convince myself, because the knowingness precludes any kind of words. Do you understand what that even means? The knowingness says everything will be okay, open to this brilliant new life. So I am in celebration right now. Norma is here with us. I talked to her this morning and I said, "It's 3 years, Mom." And she laughed and she said, "On the other side, there is no time. I don't mark it as an anniversary." And she giggled with me. And I just said, "I know, but I look at this time that I have spent with you on the other side as a powerful, huge energy shift for me, because you see, she had to leave so that I could become the more that I am." So that is the magic of the brilliance of our souls that know every moment of every breath, no matter what is happening in our outside lives, our outside world, can we trust? And it doesn't mean that there isn't hiccups of resistance or fear. It's just stay conscious about it. Breathe with it. Love yourself. Don't have a plan or an idea how it should be. Thank God I finally got that one. You're up, Miss Tanya.
Yay! Woo!
No plan, no idea.
Oh my God. That is just wonderful, because I've been on and on about it. So I've been on and on about it whenever you used to come with, "Oh, but how is this or whatever." I said, just let it be, just let it flow, just let it flow. Now you realize and understand. And it's interesting. I'll tell you guys a little story. Last week, Serena said she had she didn't tell you, but I'll tell you, a meeting with I don't know, this lawyer guy or whoever who's supposed to know all about the D7 visas. And he said, "There's no way you're ever going to get your visa if you're going to be hosted by someone, like if you're not going to have your own house and so on." And then it's like, "Oh my God, the guy, he said that." And I said, what the hell does he know about it? I mean, he's never even had someone in your situation. Like, no one has ever gone that way. as to being hosted by someone else, because usually people go through the whole thing of having to buy a house or rent a house themselves, etc. And Serena had the privilege, and we have the privilege, of going the easy way, which is providing her with a place to stay until she actually does find the place where she wants to have her own home and all of that. And so we made it so much easier for all of us, because otherwise we would have to be looking for a place for her instead of her being able to look for her own place, right? So anyway, I said, I felt into it. I said, just feel it. This guy doesn't know shit about it. So obviously he didn't, because the following week she received the email saying, yeah, we approved you for your visa. Anyway, just to say, like, most of the time we tend to want to make other people that are supposed to be more savvy than us, like this guy is a lawyer and he takes care of all sorts of visa issues for people wanting to immigrate to Portugal, so he's supposed to know. It doesn't work that way. Actually, no one knows about your reality more than you do. For anyone who's listening, no one knows about Serena's reality more than she does. No one knows about my reality more than I do. We get to make the rules and ruin whatever predefined plan could be in place by any resistance, any fear, any aspect that might have been hiding in the corners wanting to sabotage whatever it is that you've actually chosen. Those aspects, they cannot sabotage anything if you're absolutely firm in your trust of your choice. So whenever you really make a clear and conscious choice, even if fears come up, if doubt comes up, and so on, just breathe it away, one breath at a time. Take a deep breath, let it go. The voices that are coming from outside, like in this case, the lawyer or other people, are just your voices. They're just voicing your fear, your doubt. So you do the same thing as you do with your fear and doubt, is you just stay, you take a deep breath, you come back to your center, you remain in your presence, and you trust. And that's all. There's no other special, whatever secret formula about this. It's just that. You keep on trusting. No matter how much those voices, be they outside or inside, actually they're inside all the time, otherwise they would be outside, or they wouldn't get you. Like, if the voices can be coming from outside, but if they make you go into doubt and fear, they are your voices. That's the thing. Otherwise, they could be coming from anywhere, and it would just be something someone say, and it would have no impact whatsoever. So for instance, in this situation here, when I decided to offer both my kids, Samuel and Diva, a really special Christmas present, and I gave them the choice. I gave them 2 or 3 choices where they wanted to travel. And my daughter is just crazy about Disneyland. It's also her 4th time. She didn't come all of the times with me, but she came 3 with me. No, 2 with me. This is the 3rd. Anyway, my son came already once, so it's his 2nd time, but they both chose Disneyland. Okay, so let's get it going. So normally, or some years ago, I would be, oh my God, there's all of those people and, the energy and all of that shit. Forget it. It's like this. It depends on where we are at inside of ourselves. So if I'm coming here with my heart wide open, no need for protection mechanisms, and I'm fully receptive to all of the beauty, the magnificence, the joy, the wonder, everything that is here to be offered, to be received. And I'm not focused on oh my God, there's too many people, too many energies, too many thoughts, too many whatever. No, I'm in my own reality. I'm in my own dimension. And so before I was considering, okay, so but I'm traveling with another four people, and this is also another interesting story. So I'm traveling with my son, with my daughter, with my daughter's father, and with my daughter's friend. And the funny thing is that me and my daughter's father had not been together in a kind of an interaction like this uh, for 20 years. And all of a sudden, Diva told her dad she's coming to Disneyland. He said, "Oh, I'd love to go too." And my daughter tells me, "Oh, you know what? Dad said he'd love to come. Imagine." I said, "Why not? Tell him to come with us." And so we've been having loads of fun together, like a real family, but of friends in this case, because there's no relationship in terms of intimate relationship, but like being real friends. And so that is such a beautiful turnaround. That's all part of the magic, really.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, so these four people are many times dramatic. So I'm going to be with four usually dramatic people. Let's see how that happens. Well, I'll tell you something. It's been amazing. There's been no drama whatsoever. Everyone has been so at peace, at ease, no stress whatsoever. Everyone's flowing as it goes. No one has got, angry at anything. Like, it's just, yeah, we're all just having fun. We're all just on holiday. And everything has just happened as it usually happens in my own reality, which is instant, fluid, simple, seamless, harmonious, so on. So I realized that if you are fully present and centered in who you truly are, nothing and no one is more powerful than that. And plus, you get to really change the people who are with you and the way they experience things completely. I'm telling you, I'm amazed. Like, it's way beyond what I could imagine. I'm amazed at the simplicity, the beauty. I'm not tired. I mean, this, I don't know if you've ever been here, this park, it's huge and you walk a lot. I mean, we've been walking around 15 kilometers per day. You walk a lot, you stand in lines a lot, like sometimes 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever. We don't care. We just have fun the whole time and have interesting conversations. And um, and I don't feel tired in the sense of feeling other people's energies or whatever, that anything can really bring me down or affect me as it used to. But I find that that is very much because I have decided I want to be a part of the world. You know, I don't want to be having to sit at home in reclusion because I can't stand the intensity of all of the different energies around, of all of the different people and their emotions and their thoughts and whatever. No, I want to be in that ocean and be me and not be affected. And that's exactly what is happening. There's thousands and thousands of people here, and it's like I'm sitting at home. And that for me is magic. It is truly magic because it's the first time I've ever experienced it this way. So it's a new life, not only for Serena, it's a new life for me. It's a new life for any one of you that is watching this show today. If you have chosen to live a new life, there's nothing stopping you at all. Nothing. And it is truly magical. as magical as you care to allow it to be.
Yes.
Would you like to go ahead,
Oh, yeah.
Serena? Let me see. There's a lot of sun here. I'm going to change my position.
All right. So the miracle is all you have to do is choose to show up in your life, to breathe this compassionate, conscious breath. It doesn't mean that life then becomes this magical, like Disneyland, where, you get to have fun and rides and, you don't have to cook meals and it's just easy peasy. No, life is an adventure moment to moment. And if you can come out of the plan of what you're going to have your life be and allow the brilliance to show you what your life can be. Do you think even a year ago I could have imagined that I would be moving to Portugal? That I would have the courage to let go of every single thing that I have known? I mean, I don't speak Portuguese and read it and write it yet. No. But yes, this passion for life, however it's going to show up, is bigger than any concern or fear that comes up. And when fear comes up, I keep breathing. I don't ignore it. I don't pretend it's not there. I don't think, oh, I should be. I used to do those things, but now I just, oh, look at the fear. It's all right. Because you see, I have a base, a foundation within me of connected consciousness with my divinity, my stillness, my brilliance. I think back to March of 1996 when I met Norma, and I had been told repeatedly for years I was broken. Something was wrong with me. And when I met her and I began to tell her my journey, my story as I knew it then, she looked at me with genuine admiration, compassion, and brilliance, and she said, "Wow, isn't it amazing how brilliant you are, that you stayed alive in the face of such unbelievable pain and odds?" And I looked at her and I went, "What? You don't think I'm broken?" And she said, "Oh my goodness, no." And it wasn't the words, it was this energy emanating from her, this brilliance emanating from her that said, "You are more than what you believe you are." Do any of you know that in the core of you, in the bone marrow of who you are? Do you know the brilliance of who you are? And if you feel yes, then that's what you need to connect to all the time through the breath, this brilliance, this sweet energy of who you truly are. It truly is a miracle where I am today from where I've come from. When I went to the retreat, the silence retreat that Tanya and Joanna hosted back in February, I had been experiencing insecurity when I was with them and all the other people. And I didn't know that being with them was the purpose of bringing old energy up for integration at a level I had not imagined I was still at. And you see, part of my journey, and I laugh about it, is yes, I've had a profound life. I've had experiences that 99.9% of the people on this planet have never had and never will, thank God. But in human terms, I have been very young. I calculate I'm about 18 now, physically, in terms of being a human being. In ways, I'm still very innocent, even naive. But Tanya said to me, "You need to become independent, Serena." And I was like, okay, having no clue what that really meant. But what it meant for me was Could I let go of everyone that I saw as an authority outside of me to surrender so deeply into my own wisdom that no matter what was outside here in my world or what I emotionally felt that was still coming up, could I stay grounded in this trust even when I didn't have an answer as to what was going on? Now that's a big, big ask. Sense with me what I'm saying. Can you trust no matter what is going on in your life, even though it may seem really chaotic? Your mind might be saying, this is awful. Can you breathe and surrender, allow, giving permission for the brilliance of who you are to guide you? That's what I have done over and over and over again. I have opened to this brilliance within me, having no idea of a script of how I was going to live, and been loved so absolutely, so completely, beyond what this sweet mind of mine can imagine. And I do call my mind sweet. I used to hate my mind, but now I cherish this mind because it's been a part of the coming together of me. And so if it imagines something that's going to be horrible, I just go, thank you, pat my head and hand it off, go, nope, not interested in the doomsdayer story. And I take another breath and I surrender. Because I, like Tanya, experience such a sweet serendipity with everyone that I come into contact with. Strangers will go, you're so calm. You're so peaceful. And I giggle inside because I just remember how I used to be. And it brings me such joy. And I just look at them and go, thank you. Thank you. The magic happens when you choose yes. You don't say it. You don't think it. You choose it. You breathe it. Your body may be radiating with fear at a decibel off the scales, but if you're breathing yes, and you're choosing to be in your body in that moment, you are the creator of integration and healing for you. That is the magic. We get to be the creators in our life. Even when we don't have a script of what that creation is going to be about. Right, Tanya?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, there is no script.
Right.
There's not going to be a script. Forget about the script completely. Because no point going on that quest. You're not going to find it. Just because there is no script. Yay! Why would the essence of who we are need a script if creatorship is our essence? And we have been creating as we go. Actually, Earth is a story of no script. It wouldn't have gotten so tangled if there were a script.
That's true.
We have managed to tangle this thing so masterfully that it's way beyond any script. And the great thing is that though we've tangled it, it's just an illusion. It seems to be tangled, but in fact, the moment we say that yes, that not say, I mean, the moment we land in that yes, we just surrender to that yes.
Yes.
Because, you know, sometimes when we say, it's not about saying it out loud or whatever. I mean, you can say as many affirmations as you want, but if it's not real, if it's not something you're actually totally for it, it won't work. So that's why sometimes it doesn't work. Um, the moment you actually surrender to that yes, everything else starts crumbling. It's like you've been in an alternate reality, kind of, how do you call it? I can't remember the name. Those transparent figures that show up with technology. How do you call it? I just can't remember the name. Well, you've been living a reality that will really just crumble and disappear with your yes. So that is the ultimate and the only way to really jump over all of the illusion. Today I got an email with a question from someone who said, been watching my videos, and where I say, that you have to stay with your fear, you have to stay with your sadness, you have to stay with whatever it is that you're feeling, and just be in it until it starts to subside. And the question was, well, sometimes it doesn't subside, sometimes it gets worse. And the question was, if I still feel overwhelming pain, emotional pain, etc., etc., the only way it can get worse is if you think you're staying, but you're not. The moment you feel overwhelmed by the pain, you're in the pain, you're not in the staying. So this is sometimes baffling. We had a retreat in August, one of our individual personalized retreats that Serena was talking about that she did in February. And one of the main things that the people present got to experience for themselves was precisely this: what the hell does it mean to stay, you know? So I mean, because people sometimes mix up staying in the fear with being tangled in the fear, with becoming the fear, with being a part of the fear. It's not the same thing. So what does staying mean? It means, okay, we use the breath because the breath is always there. So it's the easiest anchor that you can use because it's not a tool. It's permanently present in you and for so many other reasons, but we're not going to go into that right now. So anyway, imagine you're going through a bout of really strong fear. In that moment, you focus on the breath. So the fear is kind of suffocating you. It's in your chest, it's in your throat. You're finding it really hard to breathe, but you just breathe in and out. And instead of being focused on the fact that you are feeling suffocated, that you are feeling overwhelmed, you gradually allow your attention to start collapsing towards the breath. To gradually just let that happen towards the breath. And then you realize there's a you that is breathing consciously, and there is a you that is overwhelmed in fear. And that's how you step into staying. Okay? There has to be a witness. If there is not a you that is breathing consciously, then you are not staying.
I love this,
Then,
Tanya. Oh my God, it's perfect.
right, and I will really invite you to share, because you've been through a lot of this, and even in the last weeks with all of this moving thing and all that. So the thing is, there has to be a clear distinction
Yes.
between the breath and the one that is breathing and the one that is in fear. Okay? So that's how you go around the overwhelm. Now, it doesn't become more comfortable. It doesn't disappear all of a sudden. It is not a quick fix. There are no quick fixes. After you have managed to become that witness that is breathing, it's still uncomfortable. Your chest is still tight. Your throat is still tight. You still find it hard to breathe. Yet, you know you are not just that.
Mhm.
You still don't know that you are not that because there's still a big part of you that is being that in that moment. But you are aware that there is more to you than just that. And you keep on breathing and you keep on staying. And the thoughts are coming, but you just don't grab them. You don't hold them. You don't believe in them. Right? That's the thing. The moment you start believing in those thoughts that are flooding your brain in that moment, you have had it.
Yeah.
You go into overwhelm. Okay? So I remember when working with Serena many times, there was this kind of this panic and this shock, going to shock. And the way we managed was don't hold on to the shock. The shock is just there, but that is not you in the now. It's not the breather. Come back to the breather, the one that is here now. And gradually you start getting practice. And gradually you start being able to dwell in that discomfort. Because the point is, we've learned to run away from discomfort like hell. It's like, oh my God, discomfort!
Run.
Run! No! Stay! Stay! That's how it will gradually subside. And it might not subside in one day or in a few hours. It might take days. Sorry to say. It's not instant. When we say it subsides, we don't mean it's okay, just breathe for like 10 breaths and you'll be fine.
No.
Please go ahead, Serena.
Oh my God. I loved the clarity of how you put it all together. Because when I met Norma, she one day said to me, "You know, you're not fear." And I looked at her like I had no clue what she was even talking about because that's all I was. But as I practiced this breath day in and day out, you know, the commitment was unmitigatingly massive. I began to experience this other space outside of the fear that was screaming and crying. And that was the beginning of a new foundation of consciousness for me. So, as I have done this work, for instance, on July 23rd, I was asked, "Will you stop working at life?" Now, I've been asked that before, and I've always said yes, but there was a level of clarity that was given to me that was huge. I was so grateful. And in my innocence, always innocent. Oh yeah, sure. I'll stop. I'll stop working at life. Jesus, I'm so glad I never know, right? August 1st came around and the shit hit the fan. Pardon me. So this energy that was moving was below the dissociation. It was actually a physical vibration that I had come in with. It had very, very deep intensity in my body. It held hopelessness, despair, hysteria, rage, all of the things that I had already moved through, I thought. But you know, it's layers and layers because we've been around for a long time on the planet in this lifetime. So it moves and shifts in ways that are perfect. And I kept breathing. And I one day I got up and I go, "Oh my God, how much longer?" And I heard mid-September and I went, "You've got to be kidding me. Mid-September." And I go, "Okay, all right." So sometimes it's not instantaneous. Yes, there are times where within 10 minutes the shift can occur, the integration can happen. But this level of vibration that I am being raised into is literally shedding my skin, my old energy, my old way of living. And this breath is the essence of my life in every moment. You know, just minutes before we started the show, Tanya said to me, "Oh, well, the passport has the visa in it." Here I was thinking I was going to get a separate document and I had to wait and blah, blah, blah. So I was having still the emotion, the wow of that for the good 20 minutes into the show. But it doesn't distract me like it used to. You know that old saying, squirrel, squirrel, like, a little kid who's having a temper tantrum, you want a cookie? Oh, and they stop crying immediately. Today, I was having all this energy of, oh my God, I'm going to have my visa in my hand on Monday or Tuesday. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I was having all these feelings and emotions and talking at the same time. But you know what the miracle is for me? I don't have to be on. I don't have to pretend. I am who I am in any given moment. There isn't anything wrong with me in any given moment. Hear that. Do you feel that way about you? Do you go seamlessly throughout your whole day without switching into a role, wearing a mask? Do you know in the very depths of your toes that you are perfect just as you are? For me to know that truth, it is so beyond anything that a human being can grasp. For I was a conglomeration of masks for 3/4 of my life. And now, it's fun. I had my boss's boss come meet with me in my office the other day at work at the bank. And he's my youngest son's age. Isn't that ironic? And we're talking, and I had my book laying on my desk intentionally because I wanted to tell him about me, because everybody at work knows, but he didn't. And I told him about my life, and he was so overcome because I said to him, "Do you know that you are more than the person you experience every day?" And he said, yes. He said when he was a little boy, he went into a coma and he crossed over and he knew. And I gave him my book as a gift, and that touched him deeply. And I had the nerve to say, by the way, I am moving to Portugal. I don't know when. This is before I knew my visa was on its way. I said, but I am not going to be here hopefully by the end of the year. And to not live in fear, to be able to share that with him, to be so transparent. Do you know what freedom that is? My whole being is filled with such gratitude that I am in that place. And you know who gave me that freedom? Me. Breath by breath, moment by moment, my choice of yes. That is the keys to the freedom, the magic of your life, just as it is mine. But taking those keys, putting them into the ignition, turning them, and allowing your life to move forward in a different direction, that's scary sometimes. It's not easy. But I tell you, you're worth it. Oh gosh, you're so worth it. Your turn, Tanya.
So I'll tell you guys a little story that happened last year in September, because this email I got also asked if I ever go into emotional overwhelm. And though it's virtually impossible, last year I had a situation in September which involved my son, And so it involved a transition. He was going to come and live with me, and then there was a situation, and I'm not going to go into details, but it was a really tough situation. And in that moment, it was a huge shock. And I just started screaming and crying out loud. And it hit me really hard. And then I called Serena, and she breathed with me for a few minutes. And I came back, and that's it. So it took a few minutes, but in that moment, I created an aspect because I don't have aspects hanging around, right? So in that moment, I created an aspect. And after we hung up, I looked at it and I saw, oh, wait a minute. I created a mom that is in pain. And in that moment, I just sat there and I invited her. You don't need to be there. It's okay. It's okay. We've got this. And so I integrated that immediately and took care of things afterwards. Then I did have a bit of sadness and all of that for about 2 weeks. So whenever I felt like crying, I just stop whatever I'm doing and just cry, breathe. It's gone. So what? Why? Because when you have a strong emotional situation, it reverberates throughout your physical cells and it creates an imprint. And then for that imprint to be released, it has to be accepted, it has to be embraced, it has to be lived. Okay? So that your cells can then be liberated from that imprint. So it took me around 2 weeks to release the imprint completely. And after that, it was gone. And I went into a stability even greater than the one that was there before. Because whenever you go through a situation, an emotional issue or whatever, and you manage to weather through it, and you weather through it immediately, it will create a frequency shift. So I moved to another level of frequency after that. So after all, there was nothing bad about it, was it? So then I did do something I thought about but never really done. So I went to court and I took care of things legally. And the funny thing is that the moment I did that, it was so peaceful. And I was just, how can, judges and court and lawyers and all of that stuff feel peaceful? And you know how I found my lawyer? I Googled. I Googled the family court, the best lawyers in Lisbon for family court, and I found some that actually had an office in my town. Anyway, perfect. And then, funny thing is, the court in Portugal has been going on strike. I mean, the court workers, not the judges, but the officials, because they're not paid any extra hours. So they actually work a lot of extra hours, but they don't get paid. So they've been on strike, not doing extra hours, and courts in Portugal are just crazy at the moment. And so this thing just took ages and ages and ages. And I was always, I know it's taking exactly the time it needs to take. And truly enough, the process went through in the perfect timing and in the perfect way. And the fact that the courts have been on strike worked in my favor, in the fact that we only had 10 minutes in front of the judge. The judge had not looked at the process at all, so she didn't really know what we're talking about. So no one had time to say much. And then the first time we went there, my son wasn't even called in, and we didn't even manage to go in because then lunchtime came, and that's extra hours, and so we had to leave. And that was fine because like that, no one got to say any silly stuff, right? Then next time, a month and a half later, we went in. My son was called. He spoke for less than 5 minutes. We went in for another 5 minutes, and it was settled. And so, even in what seems to be the system's inadequacy, things will be working in your favor if you are favoring the system.
Yeah.
In the sense that usually we tend to look at these systems as stale and old and too structured and too whatever. No, they will work in whichever way serves you better.
Yes.
And so, yeah, no, I don't go into overwhelm. And if that ever happens, which happened last year, as I said, it was for a few minutes. And if sometimes I've already shared this over and over again on my lives, if I sometimes get a bit pissed off with someone, because I do, like here in Disneyland, there's loads of wonderful people working, but there's also some really jackass shitheads working. I'm a human being, okay?
Yeah.
And so if there's something that you find is not okay, you just have to say it. And you say it, and the funny thing is, what I do find is the moment I find there is an abusive kind of behavior and I say it immediately, it changes. Instant. Whatever, something happens, someone else comes in, the attitude changes, whatever, but you have to say it. So just like Serena was saying, be genuine. Don't pretend. Don't pretend to be happy and nice if you're pissed off in that moment. You don't need to start screaming and shouting at people, but if something is not okay in that moment, just say it, and it will just adjust to your energy, to your reality. And truth be said, if we're going to look at the 100% of people that are here, less than 1% are jackass shitheads. So, or at least the ones I find, or the way they find me. So, yeah, when you're amongst people, I mean, there's all sorts of people. We just have to accept people the way they are, but they also have to accept us the way we are. So, it's a collaboration. And if the collaboration isn't working seamlessly, it's your call to make it work seamlessly. I mean, just, create the pathways towards collaboration. Yeah. With anything, with any system, with any situation, with any person, whatever. So overwhelm only happens if you are unaware of who you are. And that happens if you're going into the fear, into the emotion, whatever, instead of making your way back here. Now, you can book a session with me or with Serena. You can come and do a retreat with us. We're here to provide that assistance. You can try and find your way on your own, whatever, or with someone else. It doesn't really matter. But there are ways through presence to help you be in your presence. Actually, if you're with someone who is present, instantly that makes it easier for you to be present. Okay? So, and actually I'm going to reveal another secret, because a lot of people have this illusion about Norma. She also had some situations where Serena was the one who helped her stay and be.
Absolutely.
She's also a human being. Now she isn't, but she was when she was here.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're walking on earth, it doesn't matter how wise you are. It doesn't matter how realized you are, whatever. You're a human being. We all need each other's support. I mean, I am so grateful. I have Serena, I have Joanna, who's always there by my side. I'm always there by her side. We're by each other's side. We support each other
And I'm going to be there
constantly. Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way it is. And yes, the other day, so next month, I'll reveal a bit more about that, but we're creating a cooperative called Inspirar, to inspire you. And at the moment, we are refurbishing a shop that has a nice story, but I'll tell you next time. Anyway, last week, I had a builder there to break down some walls that I needed. And he had programmed and planned it to be for 2 weeks, and it took 4 days. And the guy was telling me constantly, like told me 3 times, you have to come and work with me, because you call these guys, because I had to call the blacksmith, and I had to call the plumber, and I called them in front of him, and they came the following day. I don't know what you do. You have to come and work with me, because the way you organize things is just incredible. I said, yeah, well, okay, if you want, we can collaborate. But it's because, it's just the way it is. It's just people want to be there for you and with you if you are fully here for yourself.
Yes.
That's the thing. And people will be happy to be there for you and with you in that context, no matter what situation. And if any one of you has had construction work going on in your house, or had a house built, or whatever, or a shop or a business or whatever, everyone knows that usually these people take ages to, they say yes, and then they're coming next week, and then they're not, and then you need to wait for the plumber to come, because then the electrician can't come, and then the other guy's not coming, and then the girl, and whatever. No, it doesn't have to be your reality. Just don't believe in these things as truth.
Yeah.
I believe in people. I really do. And probably that's why people believe in me, and people want to be trusted.
Yeah.
It's really funny, because I trust myself, and I do trust them, and I do believe them, and I really appreciate and cherish their work. I value it so much, because I do some of it, and I know what it takes to do it. I value these people that are with me on this journey so much. I'm so grateful that they are here. And because I trust them, they want to be trusted.
Yeah.
People want to be trusted. It makes them trust themselves more. So if this serves anyone, just make it your truth. It served me a lot.
It's like when Norma would say, and my soul rolls the red carpet out before me. That's exactly what you're saying in words. Because when you trust yourself and love yourself, want what's for your highest good, that energy goes out before you. It touches people. The people can't help but just love you, be happy with you. No, I don't mean that there aren't times where people get pissed off, but
of course, that happens.
So
I've just said it happens. Yeah.
Right, but you get to choose and create, I mean, this whole move of mine is a perfect example of that. This whole everything that you get to choose in your life, but don't be in pretend. If you've got some story, look at it. Don't ignore it. Look at the story you have about being spiritual or being a human, or what does it mean to integrate? Can I sit in pain? Ask yourself those questions. Take the time for you, because that's what matters. Because yeah, I've helped Tanya, I helped Norma, because I came out of the illusion that they knew everything and I was the bimbo, no.
You've helped Joanna. Joanna's helped me.
Yeah.
We've all helped each other.
Yes.
None of us would be where we are at in each moment without each other's support. Please,
Absolutely.
please let go of the illusion
That you have to do it
that,
by yourself.
right,
You don't.
that's not the point of Earth.
No.
We
And
do
with
it.
that,
We do it by ourselves because we have to choose it for ourselves and actually walk that extra mile. We walk the mile alone, but with that added support that gets us back on track.
like Norma said, I can't do it for you, Serena, but I can be the cheerleader on the
Right.
sidelines. And
There
that's
you are. That's it.
so next month on the 10th of October, we will meet again, and I hope that you all come and listen and participate.
Thank you very much for being here. And I'm going off to the rides to play a little bit more.
Oh, how fun.
Thank
Bye for
you,
now.
everyone. Thank you, Serena. This has been such a beautiful moment.
I love you so much, Tanya. Thank you.
And I love you so much. Oh, gosh. May you all feel embraced by this love between us.
Yes. Oh, yes.